competitors open around us, and our sales went up.
You use your Instagram page to get in.
Remember, there is no fucking secret sauce. Everything is right there. Just go back and study it. Stop buying fucking Ferraris and trying to pay them like shit. And identified that it was going to be a big opportunity for us to be the only restaurant open during the pandemic. That's a benefit that probably no other state offers. We're sending at least 50 and 70 grand every month in taxes.
Welcome to Growth Society, where we're uncovering the best practices for growth in business, our personal lives, and navigating the ever-changing landscape of uncertainty, specifically with people who are paving their own lanes. Join us on our journey as we dive deep into insightful strategies, time-tested advice, and stories that put you in a position to flourish in every aspect of life. Enjoy the show. Today's episode is going to be a twofer. One, it's on the rocks again, as we did before with Zane. And two, we're going to go over something called freedom. Most importantly, this episode is fun for me, being from New York, having moved to Miami about 5 years ago, but also colleague, friend, and partner Frank Lopez comes to us from LA, where things are a little different. In fact, we spent probably like the last few days kind of just laughing about, well, at least for him, you're allowed to do that, you're allowed to do this, you're allowed to do that. But obviously, we're going to go over a few other things. Today's episode, we're also going to answer some questions that we received when it comes to the restaurant industry and just basically taking an idea from napkin to actual execution to then scaling that. So, Frank, dude, round two.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for bringing the Tapatio, tequila that I never, you already know, bro, I'm not huge on tequila, but I don't know, man, that one changed my religion.
Thank you for having me, first of all, and I'm happy I was able to find that for you.
Yeah, dude, good looking out.
One of the best, and it's certainly going to make the episode go a lot better, man.
Woo. Yeah, that one is Siete Leguas, but it completely changed everything for me, man. Leguas, sorry, Siete Leguas.
Siete Leguas,
Siete Leguas, I got to get that right. Yeah, man, I don't know shit about tequila. I'm going to have to learn. But first things first, man, usually on podcasts, they like to go into, like, tell me about your childhood, tell me about how you got here, whatever. We'll get there. But most importantly, you as a business person came here. What is the first 2 to 3 things that stick out to you about Miami as a businessman?
So I'm in the restaurant field, but Miami is very different than any other place in the U.S. where you can't just bring a popular restaurant from another area and think it's going to hit.
That doesn't work here.
There's a different taste here, which is what I'm starting to see. There's that Southern American, South America taste, there's that Caribbean taste, and it's a little bit different than what we have over there in the West Coast, or specifically for me in the LA area.
Yeah.
So it's I can see why a lot of restaurants would come here that are really good somewhere else, but not make it here.
It's happened a few times, yeah.
It's just a different crowd, and I'm learning that it serves for you to be here for a little while, and then decide what you want to do with different ideas, because you still have to be able to combine this Latin flavor that's here with whatever you're bringing.
That's true. It doesn't matter who moves here. They all like eventually get a little bit of Latin infusion.
Yeah.
Like I told you about that lady. She's been living here for like years. I thought she was Latina because she even says El Palmetto. No, dude, she's from Nebraska. That's what she's from, Nebraska. Yeah. And she just lives here for years. I'm like, oh my God, you have a Spanish accent. She's like, I know, right? But that is one of the coolest things here. But what else sticks out to you as a businessman?
So what I'm noticing here in Miami is that you have different types of downtowns where there's like a bunch of buildings in this area. Yeah, you have like, I don't know, I saw like 4 or 5 at least, right? And they're all pretty big. So you have 5 downtowns, and the city's spread out nicely, right? So not everything is in one place.
Yeah.
But every one of them is a little bit different, right? So you have some variety in that regard.
That's true.
The biggest one I've seen, which we kind of started talking about it, is there's freedom here. A lot more freedom than I would have. And it might be for the dumbest things, but I appreciate those things, right?
Yeah.
Like you're allowed to be at the beach at 2, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. if you want to.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to fuck with you.
Super common.
Over there in LA, it's very common for us to have curfews. We have curfew at a park. You can't be at a park after 10 p.m. or you'll get a ticket, curfew ticket. I've gotten a few of those myself. I can't tell you what I was doing there at that time. But so it's...
Playing basketball. He's playing basketball.
We're using the basketball courts. But it was... that was a little bit different. And the fact that you get to smoke a cigar here and walk around freely, you get to have a drink and walk around with it. You can take it out of the restaurant. Those are little things that you know, maybe we don't notice over there because we're so used to. But when you come over here, I appreciate it. Maybe I'm an alcoholic or something because I appreciate having a glass in my hand and going for a walk and a stroll at, you know, at a mall or whatever it is. So that caught my eye, the freedom.
What would you do differently with Sassy here, the restaurant? What would you do different?
Like I wouldn't bring my exact menu that I have over there on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I would incorporate a little bit of the Miami flavor into it. I wouldn't change 90% of what I have, but that 10% add that Miami flavor into it. So whether it's the music that I play inside the restaurant or maybe creating some flavors that you know, kind of assimilate to Miami. Another thing that I've noticed here in Miami is it doesn't matter how fucking hot and popping it is somewhere else. Miami doesn't give a fuck. Like, it better be good for Miami. Correct me if I'm wrong when it comes to that.
Yeah, the cloud chasing is...
Yeah.
Dude, I remember... So when we were over there, I'm not going to name names because he's in the room. There was this one guy we met, like, when we first got there. And, I mean, I've seen Fanboy. He's got a sizable audience. He's got a cool-ass job. Yeah. And the guy was just like, oh, my God, you're the best thing ever. And then we were going to go into a place, and he was like, whip out your IG. Because I thought, like, you know, like some people, like, instead of numbers, they swap IGs. And he's like, this is how we get in. What? Then he was like, oh, if you just show it, they'll let us in for free, whatever. You use your Instagram page to get in. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't really, like, use IG anymore, but it got us some perks.
Yeah.
While we were over there. That's weird. That doesn't work here.
No,
it just doesn't. Like, no one cares. There's been people that have been humbled using the IG, like, okay, cool. Good for you.
It's the same thing for a business. Like, that clout, it's not going to work here.
Part of the culture here that I admire is the fact that everyone has either a side hustle or an actual business, and it's not just talking. You saw Carla, the one that we met. You know, she's got her thing, but she's got another thing, and then another thing, and another thing, and she acts on it. So one thing that I've noticed was, I guess you helped me appreciate, I should say, is that we're taking those freedoms and we're basically running with them. We're doing something with them to better ourselves. And I'm mentioning this because I have talked to a lot of people from LA, and ambitious as fuck. One person in particular sends out to me, your name is Frank, but shout out to Franco Milan from Arizona. I know that y'all have spoken before. He went and tried to do that. He looked at LA, as California, I should say, as a possibility, but he ended up settling in Arizona to do real estate there. But there's a lot of people that I keep meeting that are basically facing opposition, ordinances, policies, etc., that kind of make expanding your business harder.
Way harder.
How do you navigate that, though?
The way I see working in Cali and working in LA is this. The beautiful thing about LA and all the areas in California is starting from San Diego, which is right at the border of Mexico, Los Angeles, which is a couple hours north, and then heading into the middle part of California, Central Cali, you'll have a city there named Bakersfield. Not a lot of people know it, but it still has 500,000 people there. After that, you have Fresno, which is middle north already. Fresno has even more people, I believe, than Bakersfield. And then I could keep going on and on. San Jose is a couple hours north, and they have over 1 million people until you get to San Francisco and Sacramento. So it's nonstop population, nonstop big cities in California. Obviously, people means money, right? So you can literally open 1,000 restaurants over there, and you're not going to run out of places where you can sell. So that's a benefit that probably no other state offers, right? It's just the whole, from south to north, you have places to open up your business. You just got to pay the price for that population, which is a lot of taxes, a lot of red tape, and it's either you can live with it and kind of play the game, or you got to get the fuck out and go to other places, right? A lot of people are moving to Texas. A lot of people are moving their businesses here to Florida. So it all depends. The way I see it is I'm going to pay the piper. It's not about making money necessarily in California. It's about making the name for our company. And then once we have an established name, now we can start looking to move to other places because there's going to be a need like, oh shit, we recognize you guys. Come over here. So that's, for me, that's the game plan. But it is harder. It's the taxes alone is crazy in California. Just we're sending at least 50 and 70 grand every month in taxes for one location. It makes it tough. They make more money than we do as a business owner, right? People think that, and now look at you guys. People think I have a business, you sell this amount, you're rich. Nah, California's rich, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. The unit economics of running a restaurant are rough. I mean, that's why almost all of them go out of business very, very fast. You've already defied the odds. In fact, your first year, it was COVID, it was lockdown, almost 2 million sales, amazing. Next year, continuing that same cadence, and it's been the same ever since, which is why I remember the Boulevard. I was like, oh, what's going on over there? What would you say is different in how your approach is to running this restaurant as opposed to the average restaurant owner?
I'm open-minded. I think that's the secret to all of that, and I'm open-minded to change. So COVID, so we opened December 2019.
2019, right before the doors.
So 2-3 months later, shut down, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't sell shit, you can't do anything. I've gotten really good at going with the flow, right? Okay, you want us to shut down and we can't have people inside? Well, that means I'm gonna start doing nothing but grab and goes. And then we started delivering. Like literally our people inside the restaurant went from serving to like, okay, I asked who's down to deliver. We're gonna pay you this much. These are the perks, and we don't shut down like everybody else in the Boulevard that shut down. We remain open, everybody's employed. So luckily I had go-getters in that restaurant and everybody was willing to work with me.
I couldn't help but notice as COVID was raging, the lazy, entitled, and archaic business owners, the unimaginative ones, were the ones like, no one wants to work anymore.
That's all you heard.
I didn't see anybody leaving Sassy. In fact,
we hired
the only people that left were the one that went to college and the one that came back. You just pay people well, you do good business, you treat your customer well. It's not rocket science. And it was interesting because I used Sassy a few times when people were like, no one wants to work anymore. Like, what do you mean? Like, look at Sassy, look, full staffed, people are there. Fuck, he's got 4 managers. Yeah. What's so difficult about this? Why do you think people were struggling with that? I mean, I know what I think, but I don't want to be an asshole right now.
I mean, I think people found it easy to, especially once they found out that they were going to get money for being shut down. It was like, fuck it. Like, we'll just
so corporate welfare.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And for us, it's like, well, yeah, I can get money, but what about the people that are working with us? Like, they need to work. And honestly, I felt like from the, I'm not gonna say day one because I took a week off. I shut down the restaurant for a week. Let me think about what we need to do next. So I took that week off and I identified that it was gonna be a big opportunity for us to be the only restaurant open during the pandemic. So if everything else is closed, guess what they're gonna eat? They're gonna eat Sassy Bird because we're the only ones open. So I was able to identify that and run with it, and I think now it's paying off. Like a year and a half later, it's paying off. Competitors opened around us, and our sales went up.
So your competition came to town, and your sales went up.
Yes, I think it's all the love that people have for us.
Yeah.
Because we stuck through it and we hired more people during the pandemic. We didn't get rid of
And
people.
you paid them more than their competitors
We paid
were.
them more, that's right.
Okay.
We're getting the love back, and I thank Lancaster, Palmdale, and the whole AV for supporting us. Like the love's been awesome, bro.
That process that you went through, which was basically you had an idea, you start executing, you start experimenting, you scale what works, anything that doesn't, you scrap. But basically from you working 16-hour days to being able to just pick up and leave for a week and not need to wake up in a ball of sweat. Obviously, these people have never heard it. I have, so it's a different story. But like, what is it like? What was that like? Like, for example, what was the first lesson that you had to learn for that to start changing from 16-hour days to where you are now?
So it got to a point where I'm like, fuck, is this really worth it? Like, all that pressure of having to deal with everything myself and having to work all those hours and the stress and the anxiety, it got to a point where like, wait a second, this is not what I signed up for.
But I like that though, because I remember when we first talked about this, hustle porn, hustle culture. I get it. You got to grind. I get it. But some of these people, dude, they're like, you got to wake up at 4 a.m. You got to take an ice cold shower. You got to fucking eat 2 raw eggs and run 3 miles and meditate and journal. Shut the fuck. No, just no.
You don't have to
just
do any
fucking
of that
no.
shit.
No.
Like it's so simple, dude, that Well, first of all, I don't do any of that shit that you mentioned.
That's why I'm asking you, 'cause
Especially
you
the
don't do any
running
of that
2
shit.
miles. That's not that's not happening, bro.
You drive 2 miles.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
But it's all it took. Look, the process of learning delegation,
Yeah.
from talking to you, from talking to other people, from doing my own research, that took a long time because I'm stubborn on good and bad things. But the actual process of implementing the ideas, it literally took 30 days or less.
Look
And,
at that,
yeah,
30 days.
30 days or
What
less.
was those 30 days like?
They were very easy. The first couple of decisions of just trusting people, right? It comes down to trusting people. That was a little like nerve-wracking for me, but once I started seeing like, oh shit, they're getting it done, and then sometimes like they're getting it done better than I would myself, because you're empowering people. So it was a very nice process after the first couple of weeks of like, shit, like you guys don't really need me, and that feels really good. Like you guys can run on your own, and I'll step in there if I need it, or you tell me if you need my help. And so that process was easy. Like I can't believe it took me that long to figure that out. Like delegation, guys, delegation. Like it'll make your life 1,000% easier whenever you have your business.
One thing that I got to give you props for is you're open to try it. Even when you don't agree, I've noticed you'll be like, let me give it a shot. Let's see how it goes.
I don't have all the answers. I know a lot of entrepreneurs or business people might think that, yeah, I have all the answers. I know everything. I don't. So I'm open-minded. That's the key. Be open-minded and delegate and allow your team to fuck up. I always tell them all the time, if you start fucking up in a, not like not showing up to work, I'm talking about doing things and not working out, that's a good thing for me. Like, that means I've given you the freedom to try. Like you're not walking on eggshells when I walk in. It's like, I want to see you make some mistakes, and I'll help you correct them, or we're both gonna research, learn how it is, or I'll call you or any other or my other contacts. Hey, what do you think about this? And then we figure it out together.
That's true. If this makes it, which it will, it'll make it to IG. Shout out to Hugo, man. It's a Juice. You guys might know him as Juice on IG. But Hugo's been a friend for about a decade for me, and for you now, a friend as well. And I think that both of your styles, personally, I admire, because y'all are very different from me. But we agree on like 99% of the shit, and we execute on 99% of our shit. And that's actually why I even love having these conversations, because you and I are complete yin and yang, dude. Like, you even said it before, like, we're like oil and water, bro.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you end up with results that I personally give you props for. Like, you're really, I consider you a very humble dude.
Thank you, man.
You know, one of the things that I actually told the team when I was bringing you in was, look, man, there's been people on this podcast before that make a fourth of what you do, but sound like they make 10 times more than you. And personally, I'm a fan of the Silent Money. I grew up watching Silent Money. And the games they play are very different. And you and I have talked about this. Zero-sum games. Zero-sum games are like cloud chasing.
Yeah.
You know, fuck the fame. Give me the money, man. And there's people, like, for me, my life-changing moment, I did share this with you, was being a kid and going to one of my friend's house. I was in middle school. We went over for dinner, and I'm sitting there enjoying this amazing dinner. And the father's there, and we're talking, you know, I'm a kid. I'm interested, like, asking all these questions. And there was this painting to my right. Caught my eye. He just kept looking at it. Eventually, he's like, you like that? He's like, he starts to tell me about it, or whatever. Turns out, he tells me then, he's at that time, he's like, he's painting $637,000. That blew me the fuck away. I'm like, that's a whole ass house. That's a house on your wall.
Yeah.
Like, that blew me away. But it wasn't just that. It was one that was there, like a piece of furniture, but also that speaking to this guy and going to school with his son, like, they're not Superman. They're not on the cover of Forbes.
No.
They're not on the cover of New York Times. This was normal to them, you know? And personally, I think that while I get the cloud is great for a little bit, it's time we all play different games, honestly. I mean, you're playing them right now.
I agree.
But what's your observation in terms of why do you think that there is this blockage of people playing different games? Why do you think they get stuck in that one?
Well, I can understand how easy it is to, once you get that clout and everybody's a yes man around you. I can understand how that would feed your ego, how it'll make you feel good. I get it, right? I fell into those traps once in a while, and I have to slap myself and be like, wake the fuck up. That's not why we're doing this.
Yeah.
The reason, like, personally for me, why, I don't know why they would not realize that only lasts so long, right? Like, that's not real. There's no substance behind it. Personally, it's just a matter of working through your ego, learning how to utilize it. I know a lot of people say get rid of your ego. Fuck no. I like my ego. It makes me work harder, and it makes me do certain good things.
You're a competitive motherfucker. I will give you that.
I am.
You really are, dude. You're like, what? I can't do it? I'm going to do it 6 times now.
Like, I'm chill. I'm quiet. Like, I'm not one of those loud guys, but, like, I'm competitive. Inside, there's that fire. I still remember to this day when I opened the restaurant, no names, right, but another person from the Boulevard, restaurant owner, told me the first month that we were open, I mean, we hit from day one, thank God, right? We were busy. We had lines up front. It was crazy. And that guy told me, that shit lasts 30 days every time a new restaurant opens here on the Boulevard. And I'm like, all right. Well, it's been fucking 3 years.
I bet.
Yep, it's been 3 years.
3 years later.
And that's it. Right, so we have that fire.
How's that feel, man?
Oh, man. So
be honest.
We're
not even gonna edit this shit.
It feels great, brother. Like, it feels great, but again, it's learning how to control that ego. It feels great because I know it certifies that I know what I'm doing, and that I can learn on the fly, and I can apply the conversations that you and I have. I know you sent a shout out to Hugo. Some of the conversations that I now have with him, and some of the things that I learn online, I'm in the right circle. I'm learning the right things, and it feels good to see the results. And now I've done it in a couple of different businesses, so I know it's legit. I know it's not like I just got lucky.
Yeah. Things
are working, and it feels great. It feels great to take care of my family. It feels great to take care of my people. Like,
what comes to mind right now is when I was with you in LA, I was with Anthony. We went to a dinner with this guy that's in the movie industry, and he does tech, but for the movie industry. He got me into tech. We connected on the tech, not on the movie thing, but dude, I'm just going to say, like, he dropped some crazy ass finance knowledge on me during that dinner that when I went seeking it elsewhere, first of all, I didn't, but if you were an outsider, you'd have to pay for the consultation, one. And number two, I did find somebody who would teach us exactly what he told us at that dinner. You know how much they charged for a consultation? $7,000. This guy told me in a dinner, broke it down for me in such a way that I would, if I weren't in that, I'd have to pay $7,000. Like, I'm literally using it now. Yeah. What he taught me on it's a finance strategy / structure that I appreciated at the time, but now that I'm seeing it happen, I'm like, oh my God, I feel fucking blessed. God bless that man.
Free game, brother.
Free game. That shit blew my mind, dude. Like, but those situations keep happening to me, and I find myself very blessed. That's my way of creating freedom. One of the things I prioritize is, what do I want to design my life like? You did as well now. And I mean, we're kind of going off a little on a tangent here, but I see a lot of podcasts that go over things like hustle, believe, meditate, and I love that stuff. I get it. It works for some, but not for all. Especially for me, like affirmations. Super long tangent, but affirmations, things like that, they don't work for everybody. Because deep down inside, subconsciously, you know that that's not true. Like, when people are like, I'm loved, I have everything. Like, you know, like, the average person doesn't believe that. But if I were to say right now, dude, you have all the money you're ever going to need in the world, how does that sound to you?
Well, now it sounds like it's true.
Yes,
I have
but why?
To that, right?
Yes, because now you have access, dude. But if you were to tell that to the person on the street, they'd be like, hold it, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, how I can explain it is, if you tell me you have all the money you want in the world, how I took it as, it's like, I'll have it, and oh yeah, it's supposed to be mine. Where is it? Is it in a bank account? Can I go pick it up right now?
Yeah.
That's how my brain processed it, because I didn't have the knowledge yet. But how I see it now is, because I've had conversations with different people and I understand how it works, is I have all the money in the world if I need it, right?
If I need it.
If we find a property here that we like, I know who I need to contact for that amount of money, no problem. Let's get the deal done. I want to open up a certain amount of restaurants. How much is it? Okay, let me contact somebody, and I know how to get it. So that's like, it's not like it's waiting for you in a pot.
But how did that happen? Because I know why you said those two things, by the way. So if you you need money for properties, you know exactly who to go to. You want to open more restaurants, you know who to go to. But how did that come about? Think about what you did.
So I'll put it very simple. I DM'd, I slid in the DMs on Instagram. Literally how
Cold
it happened.
outreach.
Fucking, hey, like, that's awesome. I love what you're sharing. Like,
yeah.
And from there, it doors open. And I'm smiling because that's exactly how it
And then
how
what
it
did
happened.
you do? After you slid in the DMs, you put on your big boy pants and you
Yep.
slid in the DMs. Did you sell? Did you pitch? Did you
No.
put on, the magic charm? What'd you
No,
do?
it was a genuine message that I sent out because I appreciate the free game that I was receiving on certain pages.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was yours. Second one was Hugo.
Mm-hmm.
I that fucker never replied, but
I remember when on the phone, like, I DM you like in Twitter. He's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, you did.
it's been 7 years. Hit a like or something.
Oh shit.
No, but
I remember that
so
combo.
so it was a straight, like, I'm thankful for what you guys are pumping out, and it's helping me. And that's all I wanted to share. I never thought I'm going to build a business relationship out of these Instagram pages. And so there was nothing fake about it. I wasn't looking for something. It was more of being thankful and grateful for what you guys are sharing.
If you find yourself wanting to have more access, resources, etc., is first of all, just shoot the DM. Just slide in a DM, shoot your shot. The absolute worst case scenario is to say no. But here's a cool thing that I have experienced. The most and more important the player that is, the more likely they are to respond. If I've noticed anything, it's that the ones that are cosplaying as titans of industry are the ones that have you go through their assistant and, hit them up later or whatever. And it's the ones that are actually doing a damn thing that are like, hey, what's up? Because they've designed their life in the way where they have the freedom to just explore, not be tied down to something and just run you through the gamut and make you earn their time. Like, for me, that's one of the most fugazi things I've ever heard. And I can't help but notice that everybody that makes you jump through hoops just to get access to them is just full of shit. Yeah. Or they're just a puppet, and they're technically working for someone else.
Yeah, I remember, and this is part of what I've mentioned before, where I let my ego get in the way and fuck around with that clout. For some reason, I had gotten into my mind that I should be hard to get access to because I'm busy. And I literally did this. I had people, like, somehow they had gotten my number and they were texting me, and I'm like, nah, go through this person, just because I was thinking that, no, I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. But, like, it hit me afterwards, like, wait a second, that's not even the person that I am. Like, who the fuck am I here trying to be important? Like, I'm not important that way, right? Like, not in a talking down. It's more of like, if somebody got my fucking number and they got access to me, yo, what's up? How can I help you? Like
worst case scenario, you say no.
Yeah, it should be access to everybody. Yep.
Like, there's a person that I've said no to 3 times, and we're now doing something because you know what? She respected me for saying no from the jump. Now she's like, I finally found something for us to work on, and it's working. Yeah. It's going great. But for the last 3 times, not for me.
I hear you.
Just
everybody should have access to you.
Yeah, just say no. Exactly. If they have access to it and it gets to you and they have something and ask or whatever the case may be that doesn't align with what you're doing, just say no. Yeah. It's not a big deal.
Most of the time you're going to say no anyways. People are just bringing a lot of dumb things to your plate, but it doesn't hurt to be polite. Just say no, because you never know when you're going to run into someone again and reconnect. Like you said, look, now you're doing business with that person.
Yeah. The next 2 to 3 years, I know how I feel. The economist in me, right? And the growth hacker in me, but you, construction business owner, restaurateur. I know you're expanding as fuck right now. Like you're expanding things right now, but where do you see business in general for the next 2 years?
I'm not an economist by any
but you're a business
point
owner,
of the
so
imagination, right? But
you're constantly keeping your finger up.
This is what I feel. I think the next year, 2023, there's going to be a lot of great opportunities for people that are learning and maneuvering and getting with the right people. Like, right, if you get on the right boat and you bring something to the table, let the captain lead and enjoy 2023. There's going to be, if you're in real estate, you're in construction, There's going to be a lot of good deals that are starting to become available already. In my restaurant field, if the economy slows down, this is our opportunity to open up more locations, get better deals on starting to buy some of these the buildings and putting my restaurants in there. So that's going to be easier to do. So I see a lot of growth coming personally in the next 2 years, both personally, restaurant and construction. And I hope everybody takes advantage of it. We already had things happen, right? There's little cycles every 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't in the game back in 2007, 2008, 2009, but I talked to a lot of people that were, and I research a lot. I read a lot about it, and I'm starting to find, remember, there is no fucking secret sauce. Everything is right there. Just go back and study it, and you'll see, oh, shit, these are the things that I have to avoid. These are the things that I can do if it happens. Now, if the economy continues to be just as good, then we're going to be just as good. So
I've noticed a pattern every 3 years, 7 years, 11 years, and 33 years.
Okay.
The same cycles keep happening. It keeps going back and back and back and back and back and back. Every time I do the same, I've even run modals on it. 3, 7, 11, and 33.
Really?
History just keeps fucking repeating itself. If it doesn't at least repeat itself exactly, at least it rhymes.
Okay.
It's the cycle, bro.
What cycle are we in right now? The 3, 7, or is it?
No. It's not that. It's not. It's individual. It's just like, you look where we are now. Look 3 years ago, certain things. Look back 7 years ago. Look at certain things. 11 and so on. Like one of the examples that I gave somebody that does fractional banking. I told them, I was like, look back to when the first Mustang came out. We're right back there right now in terms of our policies, in terms of our stimulus, in terms of to how even the gold standard is, et cetera, or hoarding of gold. Just look, when on your own, just take a look and tell me if I'm wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong, by the way. But I can't help but notice that 3, 7, 11, 33. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on, over and over again.
Everything rhymes, they say.
Yeah, everything does rhyme. Personally, what I see happening in the next 2 years is a great consolidation of talent. I see, like, I got shit on like a lot in 2020 when I was like, yo, we're gonna have rifts, we're gonna have layoffs, we're gonna have freezes. I kept saying it all through 2021 actually, 2020 into 2021, and then right now that's where we are. Tech world, huge consolidation, layoffs galore, and not even like 100 at a time. We're talking about like 10,000 at a time. So what I see is a great consolidation of talent, where a lot of people that went free are now going to go join the stronger companies. We're going to see bigger companies gobbling up smaller companies. And we're going to see a lot of people that are 60 and older essentially leave the business world, whether through a merger and acquisition or just handing it off to someone else, which in of its own brings a shit ton of more benefit to the areas. So this is a great opportunity for people to improve on any sector. Literally, for me, there's a great reset, not the new world order, not the rapture, just a reset in terms of resources and capital. You know, like right now, real estate's about to get a nice. For example, they're the first ones. Interest rates are about to reset. Yeah, some people are gonna get a very interesting wake up call in about like 2-3 months. Yeah.
I can use some of that. I look forward to that.
Yeah. There you go. You welcoming it.
Yeah, I welcome it.
Ride the wave. Ride the wave. Well, that's the thing. You can't control the market. You can move it.
That's the part of look. You're talking about a bigger scale, but it rhymes the same on a smaller scale.
Yeah, it trickles down.
You have one location.
That's the only thing that trickles down.
You have one location. Stay open-minded to change.
Yeah.
Have solutions for any type of weather, I guess you can say. Like if you know all the weathers, all the seasons, and you know how to maneuver in every season, it's okay if it's raining, dude. I got an umbrella.
Exactly.
Right. If it's sunny as fuck, sunblock and enjoy the sun. It's very simple if you're open to change, and you look for some solutions for every season, and I think it's a different season that's coming, and I look forward to navigating and learning from that too.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get to apply it once we start scaling. One thing that I know, I'm going to change the subject a little bit. I was thinking on my drive over here of people having a hard time, whether it's big companies not finding enough employees, small companies. It's the same fucking problem. the internet puts jobs in front. If you're talented, even if you're not talented, it puts jobs in front of you 24/7. You no longer have to drive or walk or look for a job. So people don't have to work for you anymore. It's no longer I'm giving you the gift of thinking of hiring you. It's no longer that case. Now it's, you said it earlier, Gary Vee says it all the time, it's I work for you now. It's not the other way around. And it's a privilege for you to work with us here because we have so many fucking options to go work for somebody that's going to treat you well.
That's true.
And the longer companies take to change that perspective or that mindset, the better it is for people like us. And we're a smaller fish taking advantage that these big fish are fucking up, and we're going to catch up to you guys. And you're no longer going to be the big fish. So the longer they take, the more advantage for us who are building, because now we can hire all the talent in the world, just pay them, right? Stop buying fucking Ferraris and trying to pay them like shit. Pay the dudes, girls, and keep acquiring talent. That's all I'm doing right now. Whether we hire great subcontractors, whether we hire managers for a restaurant, we're accumulating talent. Because once it's time to grow, we're going to, all those people that you guys can't keep and can't hire, those are the people that are going to explode once we scale our business. So that's a big thing. To me, that's one of the things where most business owners are lacking. They don't understand that it's no longer, that the privilege has shifted. Now it's you got to be thankful for them for picking your business to give you their time.
It's a double-edged sword because I am fully cognizant of how I'll sound saying this. That's music to my ears, because all I heard is I'm gonna have access to top talent now.
That's it.
You know, we'll have more stewards.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have more stewards. That's what I heard.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it sucks for stewards' old companies.
Yeah, it does.
But for us, you're right. The new class. Are you kidding me? I'll get to work with amazing fucking rock stars. Amazing fucking rock stars. And I'll be able to reward them. I mean, it sucks for the last part. I totally understand. Because who knows? Maybe when we're older, we'll be that stupid too. And we'll fall into the trap. Who knows?
Maybe.
I mean, I hope I'm wiser with then. But I don't know, man. That's the part that is interesting. Because like when one loses, one benefits. It's kind of like, gambling. As we wrap things up, the next year for you, what's something it hasn't happened yet, but you feel grateful for it already?
Besides moving to Miami part-time?
Welcome. Oh, yo, dude, I'm so looking forward to that.
Oh, man.
It'd be good to have you here, man, honestly.
Dude, thank you, man. And it'll be great to be here, dude. To answer your question, I think in the next 12 months, I look forward to learning the process of scaling my businesses. So that I'm like in the middle, kind of stuck learning and still doing some things. But I look forward to rewarding the people that stuck with me for the last 2 years, waiting for the new locations to pop up. So which means more money for me personally. But what that means is also I'm going to have a good amount of people from my restaurant making over $100,000 like that as soon as those locations open. So that's the exciting part. Same thing with construction. We're moving more into investments instead of just doing remodels and new construction. So we're doing our own projects now. So we look forward to that, and that should create a little more freedom for me. So there's going to be some
more of your life on your own terms, man.
Definitely.
Frank, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you.
I look forward to the rest of the year. And I definitely look forward to you joining us here in Miami. I can't even hide the excitement for that one. Yeah. And I cannot hide the excitement for what you are about to embark on. I cannot stress this enough. Pick up a book, read it, write notes. Pick up a task, read it, try it. When's the last time, that's what I'll sign off on. When is the last time that you were brand new at something? So as we wrap things up, I wanted to not only say thank you, but also give you a heads up. We now have a Discord channel specifically called Growth Society. The link is in the caption below this video. There we share resources. Hell, we even collab on a monthly basis with small business owners that are interested in scaling their operations via acquiring other people in their markets, consolidating, refining the way that they handle people, product, and process. This has been Growth Society. I have been Gatriel Cesar Fadi, your host. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time.